Hello everyone, this is your English teacher Mrs. Aimavati from LPSAVANI VIDHYABHAVAN. Students, today we will start with a new lesson, that is Verbs 1. In Verbs 1 we will study definition of verb and classification of verbs. First let's see definition of verb. A verb is a word that denotes an action, a state, and an occurrence. So let's see an example how a verb denotes an action. For example, she opened the door. Here it denotes an action. A verb is a word that denotes a state. For example, he is happy. It denotes the state. A verb is a word that denotes an occurrence. For example, the shop was closed yesterday. Next, let's see classification of verbs. Verbs are classified into two types, that is main verb and auxiliary verb. So let's see main verb and auxiliary verb. First, let's see main verb. So main verb can function on their own. So this is the verb which can function on their own. Main verb stands alone. It shows the action or state of the subject. So main verb is the verb which can function of its own. It can stand alone and it shows the action or state of the subject. For example, they came early. So here came is the main verb. Okay. Now come to auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verbs also known as helping verbs. So auxiliary verbs are also known as helping verbs. They help the main verb to show the tense and to express the meaning of the sentence. So these auxiliary verbs, they are the helping verbs. So they help the main verb to show the tense. Okay, tense means whether it is in present tense, past tense or future tense. To express the meaning of the sentence, and it expresses the meaning of the sentence. So auxiliary verbs like must, can, should, is, are, has, etc. So these are all the auxiliary verbs. So let's see examples of auxiliary verbs. For example, see the first one. You should prepare for your examination. So here should is the auxiliary verb and prepare is the main verb. Okay. So should prepare. Here should helps the main verb prepare in order to express the meaning. Okay. Similarly, second one, Sumant has resigned from the job. So here has resigned. Has here is auxiliary verb and resigned is main verb. Okay. So main verb is the verb which can stand alone. It can function of its own and it shows the action or state of the subject. But auxiliary verb is also known as helping verb. It helps the main verb in order to show the tense, or you can say it expresses the meaning of the sentence. So this is about main verb and auxiliary verbs. Now come to verbs can be finite or non-finite verbs. Okay. So what do you mean by finite verb? Finite verb. It is directly linked to the subject so that if the number or person of the subject changes, the verb changes its form. Okay. So a finite verb is the verb which is directly linked to the subject. If like the subject is a person, like first person, second person, third person, or number like it can be singular or plural. If the subject is singular or plural, or if the subject is person like first person, second person, so if that is a person or the number of the subject changes, then the verb will change its form. For example, Ram takes a long time to read. Okay, Ram takes a long time to read. So here Ram is singular. Okay, so here we used the the verb with s, that is takes. So Ram is singular here, so we used verb with s. So actually the verb is take. The base form of the verb is take. So here Ram is singular, so we added s to the verbs takes. Okay. So Ram takes a long time to read. In next example, Ram and Shyam, two persons, that is uh, Ram and Shyam. So here two persons are there. So that is why here the verb is take. Ram and Shyam take long time to read. Okay. Next example is a finite verb shows tense. So a finite verb also shows tense. So let's see. I play cricket every day. So I play cricket every day. So this is in present tense. Okay. This is in present tense. Next is I played cricket yesterday. So when I wrote I played cricket yesterday, means it talks about past tense. So here the form of verb, that is played, is used here. Okay. So the verb past tense of the verb play is used here in the second sentence. I played cricket yesterday. So the finite verb shows tense. Okay. Next come to non-finite verb. Non-finite verb, it is not directly linked to subject, so that if the number or person of the subject changes, the verb does not change its form. Okay. So non-finite verb is not directly linked to the subject. So that if the number or person of the subject changes, the verb does not change its form. For example, she is playing, she is playing, she was playing, they are playing. If you see here, the main verb playing remains the same in all the sentences. Okay. So only the be verb changes, that is in the first one is used, second one was, and third one are. So the form of be verb changes with the change of subject, but the form of main verb does not change. Okay. So in the first one, she is playing, it tells us about present tense. She was playing tells about past. Okay. And they are playing, here they subject is plural, so here helping verb will be are. So that is why the be verbs changed, but the main verb remains the same. Non-finite verbs are of three types, that is infinitives, participles, and gerunds. So let's see first what are infinitives. Infinitive is the base form of the verb. Infinitives are of two types. To infinitive, bare infinitive. To infinitive means to plus verb. So we have to we have to write to plus the base form of the verb. For example, my brother is willing to help us. So here it is to infinitive. To help is to infinitive. Next is your task is to practice the game. Here also to infinitive is there, to practice. So in to infinitive we use to plus verb. Next is bare infinitive. Bare infinitive means without to. So without to we have to use only the base form of the verb. For example, we should help needy people. So here help is bare infinitive. You practice this at home. So here practice is bare infinitive. In to infinitive we used to help, to practice, and in bare infinitive we used only help and practice without using to. So bare infinitive is without using to. Now come to participles. So participle is also a non-finite verb, and it ends with ing, d, ed, t or en. Participle is of two kinds, that is present participle. Present participle means it ends with ing. For example, read, reading, sing, singing, dance, dancing, like that. Present participle. So she is reading comics. So here reading is participle, present participle form. Okay. Next is past participle. In past participle, the verb ends with d, ed, t or en. For example, I finished my dinner and went out. So here finished, the verb that is ended with ed. Okay. So I finished my dinner and went out. So here this is past participle form of the verb. He has left the door open. So left here is the past participle form of leave. Okay. So leave, left. Next is have you spoken to your father? Spoken is past participle form of speak. Okay. So a past participle, the verbs which end with d, ed, t or en. So accordingly they are used in a sentence. So here finished, left, spoken, these are the past participle form of the verbs. Okay. Next is participle can function as verbs or an adjective in a sentence. So that we have to see how it functions as a verb or how it functions as an adjective in a sentence. So here how it functions as verbs. Suppose a example, the milk is boiling. So here boiling is used as verb. Okay. Next is we saw the house burnt to ashes. Here burnt is also used as verb. Okay. So this is present participle form of the verb. Next is this is past participle form of the verb. Okay. So here the participle functions as verb in both the sentences. In the first one it functions as present participle that is present participle form of the verb which functions as verb, and in the second sentence the past participle which functions as verb in the sentence. Next is how it functions as adjectives. Please don't touch the boiling milk. Okay, here boiling is used as adjective because it describes the milk. Okay, this is the present participle form of the verb which is used as adjective in a sentence. Next is the police visited the burnt house. So here burnt is past participle form of the verb which is used as you can say adjective in a sentence because it describes house. Okay, so in the first two sentences the participles function as verbs, and in the next two sentences participles function as adjectives. This is how participles can function as verbs or as adjectives in sentences. This is the last one, that is gerund. So gerund is an non-finite, is also non-finite verb. So gerund is the present participle form of a verb and functions as a noun. We read that participles can function as verb or as adjectives. Here, when the present participle form of the verb functions as a noun, it is known as gerund. Okay. For example, swimming is a good exercise. So here, swimming is present participle form of the verb which is used as noun in a sentence. Okay, which is used as noun in a sentence. Similarly, if I tell you I love chatting with my sister on Sunday afternoon. So I love chatting with my sister on Sunday afternoons. So here chatting is the present participle form of a verb which functions as noun in a sentence. Okay. So gerund can be used as subject or it can be used as an object. Okay. For example, if you see that is singing is a nice hobby. So here singing is a nice hobby. Here singing is used as subject in a sentence. Okay, subject. How it is used as an object in a sentence? I enjoy singing. So what I enjoy? Singing. So singing here is used as object in a sentence. Okay. So in this way, gerund can be used as a subject and it can be used as an object. So this is all about finite and non-finite verbs. Thank you.